our press conference. We're going to talk first about some stuff related to UWF. I'll let Dave come up and make an announcement. Dave Scott, Athletic Director at UWF. Once he's done, we can have questions and answers on that part, and then when he's leaving, then I will be happy to go with the rest of it. But we certainly have enjoyed our relationship in a lot of ways, different things with UWF. But Dave, I'll let you come over here as the Athletic Director to come here and make an announcement that we wanted to do together, and I appreciate you working with us to be here today to make that. Thank you.
Yeah, we want to take this opportunity with the mayor and the city today to announce that UWF football will be moving back to campus in fall of 22 on Penn Air Field. We're very excited about that. We want to thank the mayor and his support, the City of Pensacola and the Blue Wahoos organization for 5 great seasons downtown, and just a great venue and environment there. But part of starting football at UWF was about enhancing student life, and we're ready to create that opportunity on campus, and our students are excited. We had a pilot game last year with over 5,000 fans in attendance, and very excited about kicking that off fall of 22. Start with Warner University in September 3rd, and we'll have a release going out today with the rest of the schedule that'll be announced.
Dave, thank you. We certainly have enjoyed UWF. Brought a national championship, had our first playoff game, a variety of things that we've done downtown, but certainly we knew this is one of the things that had been wanting to happen for a long time with UWF and moving there, and obviously where we're going with baseball schedule, it just sort of forced us to be a little bit faster. But I think overall you're excited and a chance to see more people at the games and where you want to go anyway. So we'll be happy to answer any questions at this particular time if you have just about UWF and the announcement to be moving out to UWF for their campus for the games.
Jim Little with the Pensacola News Journal, I guess. Can you elaborate more about why you all are making this decision?
Well, for us, like I said, number one is probably to enhance student life on campus. That was our ultimate goal when we started football, to create that opportunity for the students to have that social opportunities. And so that's probably number one. Some complications with scheduling now that minor league baseball is going into the middle of September, so that puts a few games at jeopardy every year, and our schedule is typically 3 to 5 years out, so it doesn't give us that opportunity to be flexible. And then artificial turf, that creates some challenges for us from a sense of creating a consistency of a playing surface and the cost to be able to do that in and out every year. So all those things combined just seem to make it the right time to make a move, and our students are excited about it. We hope this continues to help to transform campus into a great inn. We had the pilot game last year with over 5,000 fans there, so we have to do it in enough time to be able to be prepared 6 months from now. So we're excited about where we're headed.
Jim, I think overall, certainly the challenge is, we all knew this was coming at some point. It was UWF's direction to want to do this. We've certainly enjoyed hosting them downtown. I think scheduling became the most significant part, and I understand. I would have loved to have seen something, but I totally understand having half your games. It really juggles your schedule. None of us expected that to happen with MLB's takeover of minor league baseball. It certainly changed scheduling. So we're certainly sorry about that, but we understand. Certainly our first priority is to the Wahoos. They're the first tenant there that has the priority. So we work with that and understand those issues. We certainly appreciate UWF the time we were able to have them, and we knew this day was coming at some point, even though it might have come a little bit faster than we thought. But we knew this day was coming.
Yeah, we've had a great experience downtown. The Wahoos have been a great organization. The City of Pensacola have been great to work with. So this just becomes another step in the history for UWF football that's been relatively short as we continue to grow as a program.
Are there any plans to expand on facilities on campus as far as making like a bigger stadium or anything like that?
Sure, we're starting to work. Sure, we're starting to work on that. Obviously, we're going to have some bleacher structures to enhance the field for this fall. We'll look to do that, and as we move through to the future, we'll just try to add things permanent as we go.
What's the future of UWF baseball at the Blue Oahu Stadium?
So far, we usually play, I think we have a game scheduled there this year, so usually we pop down and play one game a year. Still the main priority is to play on campus, where students can be at the games relatively close and easy. But we try to always make it appearance downtown when we can.
The Sun Belt Conference will begin this week, I think, Mayor, their basketball tournament. So for UWF in Pensacola sports in the city of Pensacola, what's the likelihood that you could have college conference baseball in downtown?
I mean, that certainly is a possibility. As we discuss further, we can do that. It's interesting. Obviously, last week we made an announcement with the SEC, which we certainly enjoy having the Sun Belt, and I think it's great for our area and the overall proximity of the schools. But certainly there's no more premier conference in the SEC when it comes to college athletics. So to have a connection with them here in Pensacola for the soccer tournament is great. If we have the opportunity to expand for the Sun Belt, that's great too. If we have opportunities to work with UWF and doing things, those are great. I think having the venues and having the opportunity, I think shows what's going on. And the most critical thing that I came away with from last Thursday's meeting with Greg Sankey was that the students enjoy coming here. He said this was by far the highest rated by the student athletes themselves is place that they love to come to when they were coming to Gulf Shores. So I think they'll have the same experience here at Pensacola. We think the Sun Belt will have the same experience. And I think UWF, certainly that's how they recruit people here, that same experience. So we think all of that will continue to work. I'll let Dave answer if he has any.
Pensacola is a great city. We use that to our advantage when we recruit student athletes to our institution. That's part of one of the things that sell. University is a great academic institution, but being in the city of Pensacola is also a great asset for when we're doing recruiting.
Dave, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for doing that. And we certainly enjoyed our relationship. We'll have to come out there to go to a game, but thank you very much. We've enjoyed our time here, and we understand, and we'll look forward to seeing the Argos hopefully win another national title from out there. That'll be good.
For sure. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Well, very good to be here this morning. I guess one of the things we already talked about that happened this past week is we already had we just talked about the SEC announcement. Certainly I think that'll be a great thing for Pensacola. Very excited for Escambia County getting that. I think it was a great thing from the standpoint of being able to move that from Orange Beach. Obviously Orange Beach has made some decisions to do things a little differently with what they had, their facility that opened it up. Very excited that they came here, and one of the reasons they came here, obviously, certainly they said a big part of that was the experience that the student athletes have in this area. So other things that happened last week, we had a new ladder truck for Pensacola Fire Department. Ladder Company 11 is now at Fire Station 1. I see Chief Craner in the back. I had a chance to go up in the ladder truck. It was amazing. Can reach up to 7 stories. So the good news is I can get off the top of City Hall if I need to. So Chief assured me of that she could get me off the top of the building if she needed to. But anyways, it was really fun to be a part of. Also, Casey and Leah got to take a ride up in it, and it was really a neat experience. But more than anything else, it's a great apparatus that's really more modern, more safe for the firefighters. Really better for what it can do and cover with concerns of how it operates, certainly in a more urban environment. Some of the profiles that allow it to be a little bit more flexible than what we've had before. As we're seeing some larger buildings come into the downtown area, it's certainly good to have. So just I think another piece of equipment to have. And certainly the part that was interesting was we also found out, we thought this was the 100th year of having a ladder truck, which would have been 1922. However, there was actually a ladder company here in Pensacola as far back as 1868. So we on the back of the ladder truck, they did manage to put that we've had the ladder truck since 1868. So we have I think we're one of the oldest in the state of Florida to have that. So it's kind of another one of our things that we've done, one of our first, that we always say we're so proud of here, the things we've been able to do. Also, Baptist Hospital had their topping off ceremony. We're certainly glad to have Baptist in their new location and a part of the City of Pensacola. We annexed them in. That building is coming together amazingly. It's a 10-story medical building with another, I think, a 4 or 5-story building to the side. Both medical buildings. It's just very impressive to see it come up. It was also amazing to see the number of people involved. They had an appreciation day for their employees. And they talked about, that's $7 million in wages that stays locally in the community. I thought that was fairly important. Again, the things we've been stressing, if you can, we need to be working to get more people involved in the construction trade. There are opportunities to have great careers. There are great projects coming up all over the place, and certainly Baptist Hospital is one of those. They've done the structure part. They've topped that off now. Now they're going to be working on their interior and then the grounds, and then I'm sure they're going to be excited about getting open. But it was good to be there with our team. I saw Sherry there. I saw people from inspections there. So I saw Council President Ann Hill was there, so it was a great ceremony to be a part of. Otherwise, also this weekend certainly was huge. I mean, just a great weekend in downtown Pensacola. I thought things couldn't have looked more amazing. Both Friday night into Saturday, Mardi Gras is always one of my favorite times. I think we do it right. Certainly, I think the best and oldest celebration of Mardi Gras in the state of Florida. I think probably one of the third best, right after New Orleans and Mobile, probably in the country. We certainly saw that if you were involved in the parade. Chief, appreciate you letting me go out on top of the fire truck, and we started the event and was able to. We go fairly fast through clearing it out and telling people it's going to be ready. So it's hard to throw all the beads as fast as we can, but we did manage to get some of them out there to people. And it was just amazing to me. I mean, everywhere I saw people, I'd never seen so many people at a parade. And coming south of Garden, it was 15 to 20 people deep off the road. So I have never seen that many people at a parade. It was really great to see people coming out. I know from talking to Danny, and really want to give appreciation and thanks to Danny Zimmerman and what he does with that Mardi Gras group and doing all the things to do to take care of that parade and all the other activities. Did want to say that it's just amazing to see how many people were out there. He told me there were 6,000 people in the parade. That was in the parade. I have no idea how many were at the parade. It was unbelievable seeing how many people were there. In fact, I said that I was able to run the whole parade. They dropped me off at Balin and Garden, went and interviewed and spent about 20 minutes with the guys at Channel 3, then walked all the way back to City Hall, and there were people still sitting there floats that hadn't even thought about starting yet. So an amazing parade, and Danny has done a great job with that. It was very impressive, and looks like everybody had a great day out there. I know Friday night's parade as well was great. I really want to give a big shout out to Public Works, Sanitation, Parks and Recreation, Police, and Fire, because you would not have known we had an event on Friday night and then did another one on Saturday, and then by the time you got to Sunday, it wasn't there anymore, because those people do an incredible job of setting up, getting the roads all taken care of, getting beads all cleaned up, everything else. They just do an amazing job. They in protecting us, the fire, police, allowing us to have that event. It takes a lot of effort from the city to put that on. People behind the scene, they don't see what's going on. But it was a great event, and certainly I hope if you were out there, and certainly enjoyed it. I think it's one of the things that makes, it's one of the reasons we keep talking about people want to come to Pensacola. It's that kind of vitality and excitement that you have in a community, and have those kind of events and have those kind of days. That's why people want to live in a community like Pensacola, so we're very happy about that. We also had United Way Day of Caring, and I want to again thank Amy Miller, who is very active leadership and with United Way. I think it's a great organization. We certainly give here in our campaign, and I was glad to join nearly 60 City of Pensacola employees and volunteers throughout the community to support United Way Day of Caring on Friday at the annual community service effort coordinated by United Way of Northwest Florida. The city employees worked in a variety of projects to support several local nonprofit organizations, including Bright Bridges Ministries. I went there and painted with the fire department there. Curry House Youth Shelter, Manna Food Pantries. I mopped with Chief Randall there, Ronald McDonald House, and United Ministries. I went there as well and helped paint some stuff with our people from Parks and Rec. And then it isn't on here, but I know somewhere on there that maybe it's at the Ronald McDonald House that the people were writing the letters to the children. I know we had the attorney staff was downstairs, but I don't know what organization that was for. We wrote inspirational messages, and we did that. And Casey was not aware of Stuart Smalley, so I wrote her one that she was good enough, she was smart enough, and doggone it, people liked her. But anyways, we did that. It was a great day to have everybody involved, and I was proud to see how many employees got involved in helping as well. The City of Pensacola celebrates Florida Bike Month in March. Starts tomorrow. Today is the last day of February. So today the City of Pensacola kicks off our celebration of Florida Bike Month in March, time to encourage bicycling and recognize the important role in providing transportation and recreation to city residents and visitors. One way to participate is to check out the safe riding routes developed by Bike Pensacola and also available at the City of Pensacola Parks and Recreation website. The city will be participating in Ciclavia on Saturday, March 26th, which closes several streets in downtown to motorized traffic and opens them for people to ride bikes, walk, and play, and whatever moves them. We're certainly trying to do more to make our community a safer bike and pedestrian community. We think a lot of those efforts that are coming together and what we've been able to do, and we hope you'll take this month to get out there and enjoy the bikes. Certainly the weather could not have been better than this past weekend, even though it's February. We're looking forward to what's going on with March. Also, that on March 1st, the public is invited to my town hall tomorrow, March 1st at 6:30 at the Vickery Center, which is at 2130 Summit Boulevard in Pensacola. All members of the community are encouraged to attend and provide their input and comments regarding the City of Pensacola. I think we've also advertised that so we can have a city council member or multiple city council members. It's been advertised if they show up. But I certainly know those are things. If anybody wants to show up, they're welcome to. The reminder of the recycling rules at the Summit Boulevard Recycling Center. The City of Pensacola would like to remind residents of the rules due to the high volume of styrofoam and unrecyclable materials being disposed. Styrofoam is not a recyclable material. Do not bring it there. It can cause the entire load to be rejected. So we ask when we're out there doing these things, we're able to bring some of these great opportunities. We ask that you work with us. Styrofoam is not something you can bring. Please put that in your own can and dump that out. The cardboard we like, the other plastics, the other things are certainly good, but do not bring us styrofoam. So appreciate that. The recycling center drop-off is videoed and monitored 24/7 to ensure the site use is proper, and then it will also deter illegal dumping of non-recyclable materials. The center has 3 containers for residences to properly dispose of recyclables, including cardboard, plastic, glass, and more. Household garbage and waste are not acceptable. And again, we with the monitoring, we have cited many people. We've been able to catch them with tags and been able to go out and cite them for illegal dumping, and then they have to come back and get their materials. So don't do that. We ask that you please focus only on the things that are appropriate. For a list of acceptable and unacceptable items, please visit the City of Pensacola Facebook page at thecityofpensacola.com. COVID-19, again, we continue to see a precipitous drop. We're now looking at a positivity rate of 7.1, which is close to getting down to under that 5% that we look for, down significantly from we've had rates as high as 20 to 25% in Escambia County in early February. So now by the end of the month, we're down. Our hospitalizations went 72 on Friday, 66 Saturday, 61 Sunday, and 53 today. So again, I think as we near the 50 mark, we probably will not be keeping up on those. And so again, at this particular time, we will bring those back up if we see a spike coming back up. But at this time, I think as we're nearing 50, probably this week, we will discontinue the keeping those numbers. But we certainly will keep them through Wednesday. when we do our Wednesday report, and then after that, we may not be doing hospitalization numbers unless we see another spike. So again, that's sort of where we are. Happy to answer your questions. Anything you might have, happy to answer those. Jim?
At Thursday's city council meeting, the council took what they call a straw vote on continuing whether to appeal the lawsuit over the Spring Street tree. I guess, what's your stance on continuing that lawsuit? Do you have
I continue to work with Heather and Charlie and what we can do and what the issues are going to be allowable for us to do and maneuver. They're certainly working with it and seeing what they can do. I do know there's a lot of challenges they're going to have to it, so we're working through and seeing what our options are. But it's good to know that certainly the council supports that, and that's good to have, and a chance for them to voice their support of what's going on.
Yeah, I guess the lawsuit started back in 2019. Has the city really reevaluated its position as all? I've gotten pictures sent to me recently that shows a 28-inch rod through the top of the tree that people saying it's rotten. I guess, have you seen any of that, or have you?
I have not seen any of that or what's happened one way or the other with the tree. I know that our arborist has looked at it from a distance, but hasn't gotten to be, he has to be invited on private property to actually look at the tree. He seems to think that it's, he still thinks looking at it from afar it looks healthy, but he'd be the first one to admit that he has not had a chance to get up close and inspect the tree and see those kind of things. The other thing from our standpoint is it's just going to come down to a matter of law, and I know the unfortunate thing is a lot of people are upset because the law is potentially about to change much of the things we forced by the suit because we explained to the state in 2019 this is not a good idea because you left a lot of things open, and I know that in 2022 they're about to close a lot of those things, but unfortunately whether that happens or not, it's not going to be applicable to us. We have to do this all based on what the rules were in 2019. So I know it's a little challenging the way it is, but it's, I'm certainly glad council had the opportunity to voice their opinion, and we will evaluate. And I know that Heather and Charlie are looking to see what they can do.
And I guess, as far as just a general question, as far as like continuing a lawsuit at the city, who makes that decision? Is that you, or is that the city council?
Well, I think, if you came to last week's charter review commission, those are some things that Susan Wolf was here and indicated. Those are some of the challenges that are in the charter. I think from this standpoint, we're working with the attorney's office to see what we can do if there's something there, and if there's something we can do, we'll look to pursue that, and we're just still trying to evaluate what we've got. But I think from the council standpoint, I think many of them wanted to voice their concern of the issue, whether or not we have a functional way to go forward or not. I think they wanted to voice their opinion. I think our challenge is we're trying to figure out whether we have a functional way forward.
Have you gotten any input from property owners in the area near North Cervantes, Palafox Street, where their city's looking to get a road diet?
I've heard before. I've heard from a number of them that are, obviously Melanie Nichols was here, and some of the citizens are excited about what that could mean for that whole area, a safer way to get back and forth and into downtown. I think they've been looking for some of that. Many of the businesses I've heard have thought this would be a chance for retail commercial to come back into the area. I have heard from one or two residents, although let me say that we're upset, but they thought the whole project was going to be a diet all the way up to Brent Lane, and I explained to them, no, the diet was only as far as the city limits, and then it would stay 4-lane. And once I gave them that information, they seemed to be at ease. From Brent Lane to the city limits is going to be a resurfacing project. Once you get south of that, it's the only place the diet's going to be. So it will only be in the city of Pensacola. Once I explained that to most citizens, they seem to be acceptable and agree. Listen, I drove that stretch the other day. I've been driving it. it literally, you could throw a bowling ball down there and not hit anybody. It's 4 lanes with nobody on there most of the time. I don't see it being a tremendous problem for traffic because there just aren't enough people there. However, I do believe that if we do it right, and you see these things, that you could begin to get traffic on there again, and I think that's more viable for some of those small businesses. I know some of them that aren't looking for local walk-in and stuff. It might seem it's a small inconvenience in the beginning, but I think they're gonna grow to love it. I think it's like, had a lot of people that were upset about soccer fields and parks and stuff, and they talked about how terrible it was going to be and how their housing values. Well, look at it now in 2022. Housing values around Hitzman Park couldn't be higher. People couldn't be more satisfied, and everything's so good. But it's one of those things I've never heard anybody say that a park deteriorated a neighborhood. I've never heard saying that slow down traffic and do other stuff is going to deteriorate the neighborhood. So, I think let's see how it plays out, but it really will give us a chance to begin some of the things that we're doing as far as some of these streets that we're looking at and how we could do it. And what we talked about with Bike and Pedestrian Month, this is going to be a chance for us to show what can happen. And I believe that North Palafox will see sort of a Renaissance rebirth, much the same way that 12th Avenue has. 12th Avenue has seen a significant rebirth of some of the neighborhood commercial that's on there. I mean, when you think of things up there by Cactus Flower on that end, when you see Publix on the south end, and the things that have happened, you see so much more from a neighborhood commercial going in that corridor, and it's a 2-lane road. So I think Palafox can do the same, and I think it will make the neighborhoods stronger, much like when you look at the neighborhood, how it's strengthened around 12th Avenue. So again, I think this is a move in the right direction. I think it'll be a good thing for the city. There are a few people, the only people I've heard from, like I said before, that were upset because they didn't understand the parameters. Once I've explained the parameters to them, I really haven't found anybody who's upset. So if Channel 3 is finding a few people that are, tell them to let me know, and we'll see what we can do, but we'll try to set them straight. You had a question, yes?
Yeah, the soccer field slated to host the SEC Women's Championship. Is it ready now to host that, or are there going to be facility improvements or anything like that?
This is not going to be hosted at a city event. It's going to be hosted at county facilities. My understanding is that the county put in some of their ARPA requests, some improvements to the facility, and my understanding in talking with Commissioner Bender is that those should be ready by the time the event is held next fall. I think they'll continue to work with it. From our standpoint, we do think city may have a place to play in this. There'll be needs for some of these teams to have different facilities and places to practice, much like we're doing with the Sun Belt Conference. We've offered community centers up to work with them if a team needed a place to practice. We would love to see that happen at some place like Hitzman if we could get a team that would come there, practice, be able to show other kids, and get to meet athletes who are playing soccer, maybe aspire them to use their athletic skills to try to obtain opportunity to go get higher education. So, I think all those things will be positive. We will not be hosting anything within the city, but that doesn't mean we can't use some of our facilities for practice and other things. And we would love to, if that happens, we'd love to have our youth leagues be able to participate and see those individuals play and be able to see what they're doing. I think it's one of those things. Anytime you can get certainly an elementary and middle school student to see other students at the highest level, at a collegiate level, it's a good thing, and hopefully inspires them to go out there and continue to keep working and do their best. And who knows, maybe we'll see a lot of Pensacola people. We've seen that. We've had some great Pensacola soccer players go on to play significant roles, and hopefully we may have some more. So you never know where this may go. Yes.
So you went to the topping out ceremony for the Baptist Hospital. Is there any more word on kind of the plan for the old Baptist campus?
I think they're working through that. I think when I made my announcement the other day, they were just going to their board, so I might have gotten a little bit ahead of them. They wanted to go through all their proper points and do some other things moving forward before they were ready to come forward more publicly. But everything seems to be tracking in that direction. I know they met with Councilman Wiggins about it, and he expressed to me his excitement because he believes I, when he sees what's there, that it's a real opportunity for us to do some housing things. Some of the things that we've been trying to figure out, some of the things we've been trying to do to bring new housing on the west side, and talk about new structures. We have things happening, but it's going around. But I think he's looking for ways to see affordable housing that's new in that area, and I think that gives us that possibility. Also, what's exciting, I know last week we met with Habitat, and I know David was back there. We've got some plans to come forward, sort of that would be twofold. One, we hope to get some additional housing, both with Habitat and both with a program that the city is looking to have on some of these lots that are in that area on the west side. Bring in that. But it's not just to deal with the housing and deal with affordability and hope to bring down pricing where we can make it more attainable for people to get. We also hope to use that opportunity, as I talked about earlier, with what's going on in the construction industry, to really use an opportunity to do more apprenticeship with people to give more skills, whether it's with Habitat, whether it's with a program we would like to do and bring some builders in, finding a way to getting a lot of other people involved in sort of an apprenticeship into construction, so that we can develop more skills, we can develop more individuals that are in the construction area. We think if we can build up a talent pool, hopefully that also will help us do a better job of putting more product out there and hopefully bringing prices down. These are all things that we think are incredibly important as we go forward in helping try to bring down the cost of housing, because we certainly we don't want to stop the demand. We want to keep doing great things. I think all the things we've been focused on is how we can do great things that make this a community that people want to live in. If that's going to be the case, we're going to have people continue to come here. So we got to figure out how we deal with the supply side. So I do think we're working on that. Yes, John.
Mayor, at the council meeting last week, Councilman Breyer withdrew her item on the feasibility study for the electric municipal utility. But she said she was earmarking, she wanted to put an offer out there to provide you with up to $75,000 to help Amy Lavoie and her team negotiate as we go forward. Are you going to take them up on that offer?
We are doing some of that already. One, it's going to be a new negotiation team. The old negotiation team had Rusty Wells and Keith Wilkins, who both are neither with the city since we've last been negotiating with Gulf Power. I still want to call them Gulf Power. Probably will be calling them Gulf Power for years from now, but for Florida Power and Light. Again, we're sort of putting together a new part of our team. Part of that process, and also Charlie Pepler has come on board. Well, Charlie came on right about the time we were sort of right about the time that was sort of coming to a crux, and we sort of backed off negotiations. So we've already gotten Charlie looking. One of the things that came out of this significantly, which I've said has always been part of the problem, is and I get what Keith said, but I think it's not just having the expertise to negotiate, it's also understanding what we wanted as a community. And I've said that for a long time. I said, I don't think we know what we want. And so it's hard to go into negotiation and ask for something when you don't really know what you want. We're going to also meet that team as it's coming together. And I see Kareth, we're calendaring right now to meet with all 7 council members to sit down and say with them, what are the things you want? Now, I can't guarantee you that everything we can do, but I mean, we're going to try to get everybody to put all their stuff together, and we're going to figure out with the team what we want to ask for. And I think that's part of the problem is we go into it and we think we know what we're asking for, but we don't really know totally what everybody wants. One of the things that has also come out through this conversation is a lot of discussion about Destin. I asked Charlie and Kareth last week, right after the meeting, to get the Destin one and begin that process, and we're going to get together and review that and see what we can do. So between reviewing that as an existing one, working together with council members, we do plan to pick back up discussions with FP&L once we have a chance to kind of get ourselves in-house figured out, and then we do plan to come forward. So I think we'll pick something up from there. Well, if there's nothing else, I know I saw, Jim, I know y'all had an article in there about some of the things that were happening over there on that spit of property by the railroad. I see Lawrence in the back. We first identified about the time we had our last council meeting. Now within 2 weeks, we've gotten most of the individuals moved out of there and relocated to other things. If as we're working through, we're still trying to do that. We certainly don't believe that's an area. We think it has you got to trespass the railroad tracks to get there, and the fact it should be a nice part of several things that we think are kind of seeing a rebirth and a reemergence of several things in Bayou Tahar. We'd love to see it continue to be environmentally pristine in that location, so we'll be working with that. But we're still trying to relocate a number of people. We have openings at both sites that we can continue to work with. Like I said before, I worked at Bright Bridges, did painting. They're expected to be open fairly soon. I know they're getting their sprinkler system in, and we saw it actually coming in while we were there, and the fire department painted there. And I know that I continue to stay in touch with REAP, and I think, as you heard Thursday, they expect to be into their facility in April. So we do expect to have better places for us to be able to continue to manage those that are homeless and find opportunities and programming for them to be helped. And we're going to continue to do that as we go forward. But certainly those are a few things that are out there as well. But thank you very much for coming. We'll see you next week.